Hello, today I wanted to do something on spirit guides. You have lots of different guides in your life, and there are many different types. I'm going to talk about how I actually use my spirit guides. So, I think the best way to find your spirit guides is to actually ask for them. Ask for them usually meditation works the best. Kind of meditate, get yourself in a calm and cool place where like you can just think without having a lot of surrounding sounds and things that irritate you, or because then you would get out of your moment. So the best place to do it is just somewhere where there is, if you can find a place, because a lot of people married to have kids may even need to go to the bathroom, might actually work. But your bedroom or something like that would be a good place. So you want to meditate and you want to think about your spirits, and you just ask and you shall receive. There's different types of spirit guides. So you have an animal spirit, and usually all you have to do to figure out your animal spirit is you just ask, and you go like, all right, first thing that comes to you usually is your spirit guide. So you can ask for a spirit guide, you can ask for animal guide, you can ask for all different types. So there's many types of guides that you have. You also have angel guides. So you have a guide that's going to be an angel, like literally, legitimately, an angel. You know what I mean? So you can ask for that. I ask specifically, or almost always, I just try, and you can even ask for God. God will always answer your prayers. So you can ask for Jesus. Jesus is a very popular one, obviously being Christian. Muhammad, if you were a Muslim or something else. All of those guides will actually help you. And then there's, of course, all the archangels. Anyone you can pick usually will respond. Well, depending on if you believe it to be true or not. And so here's another part. Just think about it. If you don't believe it's going to happen, then you've made it so that it doesn't happen. So you got to understand that what you ask for is going to happen. Okay? So you have to believe, or like it won't happen because you make it that way. The one that I use the most is your higher self. So your higher self, we are in the third dimension. So like first is like elements, air, water, fire, earth. Then you get your second are like animals, insects, plants. We're in the third stage, and we're turning into the fourth. It goes all the way up like an octave. So just like the keys of a piano, once you get to the eighth, that's the next octave, and you'd start all over again. Okay. So we're in third, and then in fourth, actually I think we're turning into fourth, where we're more spiritual. There's not going to be any more of these wars, crazy wars, stupid things like that. But your higher guide is sixth dimension, six going on seven. So in seventh, when you go into seventh, you drop all of your information onto your sixth dimensional self, so they know everything, all of the past lives, all of everything that they would need to be able to guide you. And so that's the one that I use the most. And so I just go to my higher self. Myself, it is myself as a higher stage many billions of years later. Millions, billions, I don't know. Really, time doesn't matter at that point. So I always do that. So in mine, I think a lot of people, when they do their spirit guides, they like to do it so that they have like names and stuff. And you can name your spirit guide. I think the spirit guides, they really don't care, but names really aren't a thing in that dimension, so you don't have to call them a name. I don't. But a lot of people like to name them. I know my mom did. She loved naming them, and she'd be like, oh, Greg is my spirit guide. Oh, he's really old, and no, this one is younger, and this one is sweet, and Like, okay, Mom. I don't know why they need names, but all right. So I don't name mine, and in general, I just think it's my higher self. It's like this me, but my higher self. That's what I do. I don't name them. I don't do that, but you can, which is nice. I'm sure they don't mind. And so I actually just contact my higher self, and then I just ask for answers. I just ask it. Okay, so here's the thing. You're not going to hear words because they don't talk in words. They talk in images of full stories. So you can break down the image, which is kind of crazy, and it's 3-dimensional or even 4-dimensional. Like you can turn it and see the bottom or the top. You can spin it and see whatever is in that. If the image is an elephant, then you can spin the elephant, and then you can spin it to where it's younger or when it's older. So the image is basically alive. It is the thought of it. It doesn't need a lot of extra words to actually make it into that. You'd need millions of words to make it into it. Well, that's way too complicated. So in the spirit world, everything is images. And you can get sound, smell, and everything with this. So it is an entirety of a thought. They can just give simple thoughts. And a lot of times, okay, so we're kind of slow. We're only in 3rd dimension, right? We're in 3. They're in 6. They're way more complicated than we are. It is not that we are so much lower, just that they're farther along the path, right? We're here, we're kind of like, we've moved this far, they're just farther along. All we have to do is have time, and we will be where they are at. So, when you want to think of an image, I a lot of times use numbers and things like that because I'm a simple person, and I just need the simplicity of that so that I know what it is. I can get whole things, and I do that a lot. Usually also, you can get it during dreams. So a lot of people get downloads during dreams. You're in your subconscious, and your guides, angels, God, Jesus can help you in all of these times to understand certain things, because your dreams are when you process all the information that you had during the day. Oh, I want to know about why rain does this. I want to know why I really like it when I smell this on certain people, guys or girls, you know. I want to know why I like this person but don't like this person. So all of those things you can do during the dream process of the days that you've had in the day, and then when you sleep, you process those type of things. And in that time, your guides are much easier to tell you things. Another time that you can get information is when your mind is occupied or is in a blank. Good times are right in the morning. As soon as you wake, you are between being subconscious when you're asleep and the consciousness when you're awake. You can get lots of great downloads because right then the veil is down, and that's probably a really good time. Another time is when you're showering. You're not thinking of anything. You're just scrubbing down, scrubbing all some scrubby-dubbity, right? And you can get lots of information during that time. So it's a good time actually to contact your spirit guides at that time too. Yeah. That's a few of the ways that you can do it, and I actually just ask for it. Okay, so another way to understand how they answer. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. I wanted to know what version of Star Trek, because obviously when you're on this type of thing, a lot of times you got like a little bit of dorky Star Trek-y type of thing. That's me. So I'm like, well, what version? I'm like, I want to know when the Tal Shiar, right? I was like, oh, when's the Tal Shiar? And they're like, I can't remember, it was like 3-4 or 5-4 or whatever. Or yeah, 3-4. And I'm like, 3 and then 4. I'm like, what? And so it turns out it's the third type of Star Trek, because remember, there's several types, you know, they go through all types of different versions. Star Trek 1, 2, 3, you know, like Enterprise, where, you know, you've got Kirk, the first one, and then, you know, but it was like the literal second episode, or whatever episode that I had said, I think 4th, right? And it was really kind of cool that I actually just looked it up. I said, okay, so this one, episode whatever, and that's what it was. You can get it in books. You can actually go to the page of something. I want to know if there's, like, the Bible. Okay, so the Bible is very long, and you can ask for help from your spirit guides to actually know what part of the Bible you're going to need to look to reference anything, something about the sun, something about brothers and sisters, whatever. And they'll literally tell you what version and what, you know, or what psalm or whatever. So there's a lot of different ways you can use your spirit guides. They talk in a little more images and full thoughts. And when you ask them, remember, you know that it's, okay, so you also are going to compete with your ego. Your ego will try to answer it. Because you've read the Bible before, and you're like, oh, I'm going to read it, and okay, so I know that it's this. It's John version blah, blah. You know what I mean? And that'll be your ego, because ego is always going to try to beat it. But your ego has to think and process. So when you ask a question, before you ask the question, the answer will come. That's when you know it's your higher self or one of your guides. That's when you know, because they answer, because they're in time space. They have already heard the question. They know also, they hear your thought. Your thought then has to process into words. Well, the thought happened, and you gave them the question, and now you're processing saying it. They've already got it because the thought is already there. That's why they have it in advance and why they can answer it so quickly. But it takes me to say it before my ego can process it and then come up with the answer. So those are a couple of really good ways to understand how and when to kind of talk to your spirit guides, how to talk to your spirit guides, what they mean, and things like that. I think that's probably about enough for now. Hopefully I can answer, or this answered a couple of questions about spirit guides, types of spirit guides, how to contact them, where to go, and that. All right, thank you.